What's up guys, my name is Rayash and we're gonna make a tier list. A tier list on ultimates Valentina can use with the IMU. Coincidentally, it's Valentine's Day and, you know, Valentina, Valentines, you get it? And I'm gonna spend it making this video. The ball's in your goddamn court, why the hell aren't you in? First off, we're gonna go over with the tiers. First off is prioritize, meaning to say you must get that ultimate no matter what, or it's extremely useful that you should get it. Reliable is just, you know, there's no wrong in doing it, you can get it whenever you want. Niche has a specific purpose, but it is effective when you fulfill that purpose. Unnecessary means it does have its perks, but most of the time you shouldn't use it. And useless is you shouldn't get this at all. Just straight up ass. Let's not waste any more time. We'll start off with Amon. I would put him in niche. It has no damage whatsoever. It's only like 6 shards, but you can still capitalize on the invisibility it gives you. Akai is reliable. Yes, you can try to pin people down and reposition with second skill, but since you're in the front line for an extended period of time because of the duration of the ultimate, you're gonna take a lot of damage as, you know, as an Akai Valentina, if you get me. But it's still really good. All those I will put in reliable as well. It gives vision. You can try to target people who are low in health, and you can even cancel some recalls, so I don't see what's wrong with it. Alice is unnecessary. Using your ultimate consumes your mana by a lot, and it consumes Valentina's ultimate, so yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Aqua is reliable, very short cooldown, and it's an initiation skill. You can even reposition with Flicker and your second skill, so I think it's good. Alucard is unnecessary, it's just damage, and you don't even gain the life steal from Alucard's passive, so nah, I don't think it's good. Angela is reliable since you can easily rotate to someone and give them a shield, but you don't get the love waves, don't get the puppet on the string, but you can just pop them out immediately and try to combo with the Valentina. Argus, as good as it is, it's still niche. Yes, you can have some immortality for 4 to 8 seconds, but like it's just staying alive and just dealing your damage. Most of the time it's not really beneficial to your team, it's only beneficial to yourself, you know what I mean? It's kind of selfish, but if you want to stay alive just for some desperation purposes, I think it's fine. Our first prioritize of this tier list is going to be the Arlot. It has a really short cooldown, a good initiation skill, and you can redirect with the Flicker, second skill and whatnot. You know what, there's absolutely nothing wrong, and you can just, you know, use it whenever you can. Another one you should prioritize, I think it's self-explanatory, Atlas. You can just dash in and get the ultimate off, and yeah, of course. Aulus is unnecessary. You have the damage, you have the slow, but that's basically it. Aurora is reliable. You know, you can't go wrong with a big AoE free skill. Badang is also reliable, so long as you have a wall to stun them with, and the buff that made it from 0.6 seconds to 1 second is actually a really good skill, and it's very instantaneous, so yeah, whenever you have the good positioning, you can capitalize. Balmond is also reliable. A free execute is, you can't go wrong with it. You can get the last kills, you can Flicker ultimate, you can second skill ultimate to close in. It's really good. Bane, a bit of a hot take, but I would prioritize this. Not as much as the others, but still prioritize. Because here's a fun fact. The rule of the IMU ultimate is that if you copy a physical hero, your magic stats will be converted, or should I say added, to your physical stats. And when you use the Bane, as soon as you convert into the Bane using the Deadly Catch, you have both magic stats as well as physical stats. And Deadly Catch scales with both of them. If you have a lot of magic power, you will also have a lot of physical. Combine them together and Deadly Catch will deal a lot of damage. Try it. Barats is reliable because you can't go wrong with pickoff, but you are in the front line for an extended period of time, and you're not going to be able to take damage as your Valentina. So you should use it mainly for pickoffs when you're alone. Baksha could be niche. You have to stay in front, but if you can get to the back line and survive, good for you. You have some innate life steal, and you can also capitalize with the anti-heal it gets. Beatrix is also niche, with the 4 ultimates being the Bennett. Bennett is the best one, AoE. Renner if you're skilled, Nibiru for wave clear or damage or something, and Wesker is gonna get a buff, hopefully. But yeah, Beatrix is niche. Beleric, I think it's reliable so long as you can survive, because it is a taunt skill and people are targeting you. So you gotta be careful. But a taunt is a taunt and crowd control is crowd control. So yeah, you can still initiate with it, but you gotta be careful. Benedetta is also reliable, really good AoE, and if you're skilled enough, you can capitalize on using the passive basic attack. So yeah, combine it with the second skill and you have a lot of dashes. Brody is, I would put it in unnecessary, but it's kind of niche. The only way you can capitalize with the Brody is that for some reason someone is at very low health, or at least a Brody is low health maybe, and you can just instantly copy him and just use that one tick of the torn apart memory. And maybe a couple of basic attacks for pushing, but most of the time you're not gonna need it. Never mind, I'll put it in unnecessary. Bruno is also unnecessary. It's just a whirly ball, just push them back and reduce their defenses, but like, I don't think you're gonna capitalize with it. Carmilla, I would put it in prioritize, a really good skill for some spread damage. You can even deal damage yourself, you know? So I wouldn't go wrong with this. Sicilian is also reliable because it gives some regen, some lifesteal, and Valentina also have innate lifesteal. So that's for survivability purposes, but you can still deal damage with it. CC is kind of niche. If you're in a 1v1 setting, it's useless, but if you're able to snag 2 people with the curtain call, it's gonna disrupt their formation, and yeah, your team is gonna capitalize on that. Chang'e would be reliable if it's enhanced, but since it's not, then you're gonna try to deal damage from a distance for a specific purpose. I would just put it in niche. Chip, I would put in niche. You can't go wrong with some teleportation, some initiations with your team. Yeah, Witty Party. Cho is also reliable. Way the Dragon, really good initiation skill. I think everyone has encountered that. Claude, unnecessary. If you desperately need like attack speed items to capitalize on that ultimate, it goes to show how bad it is on Valentina. Flint is kind of niche. If you want some range on your basic attacks, then go ahead, use the ultimate, and it's basically like no cooldown, so you can reset and look for another ultimate. So yeah, go for push, go for distance, and you know, you can still use it, but like I would suggest others. Believe it or not, Cyclops is actually reliable. I mean, like, it's a single target, but it's very long range and it has a very low cooldown, so teams can take advantage of it. And you can instantly look for another ultimate to copy if you're not gonna need the star power lockdown anymore. Diggy, I would prioritize. It would depend on the lineup still, but since they do have a lot of crowd control with the Diggy ultimate, as well as the lineup that plays around it, possibly, you can capitalize. Dairoth is niche, only good if you want to go for that one-hit KO type of things, or like last hits, but it's a very smaller AoE than Balmond, and it's physical, so it can be defended. So yeah, I'll put it lower than the Balmond, but it's still niche. You can still take advantage. Edith is prioritized because when you use it, it assumes you have full stacks and you don't have to take damage for it to deal maximum damage. Maximum DPS is kind of unfair. Esmeralda, you can reach the backline and bypass some shields, but most of the time it's kind of niche, you know, because you are in the front line when trying to use a skill. You can use it to get out, but like, it's not gonna make much of a difference in terms of team fights. Estes, you know, you don't have the extra first skill to heal others, so you must not disconnect, but like, healing is healing. I would put it in reliable. Eudora is just a raw damage skill. I will put the same for Fanny, because you know, single target damage, they're not even enhanced, so yeah, just unnecessary. You can still take advantage just by dealing some damage, but like, that is basically it. Paramis Valentina, obviously prioritize, you get the interaction. Florin, you can't go wrong with healing without getting close to people, which is why I put her over the SS. Prioritize as well the bite, yung kagat, because it's suppression. Bloody Hunt is just really good. The ultimate on the Fredrin assumes the energy eruption instead of the Appraiser's Wrath. I will put it in niche, but after seeing Super Friends play, I'll put it in reliable. Freya is kind of unnecessary. You do have shields, you do have attack speed, but nothing else that you can capitalize on. It's just an anti-synergy with Valentina's kit. Gato Gacha, I will put it in prioritize. Like, it has very high magic scaling, so you can capitalize, and it's just very satisfying to just jump on people, you know. Pause. Glue is interesting because you transform into the goose, meaning you have all of his skills, but you either have the choice to grab someone and try to pull them, or use the raw glue skills to try to mobilize people. Using glue as a Valentina has a high skill cap, so I would just put it in niche. Gourd is just a raw ultimate, so you're not gonna capitalize on the true damage of the passive of the gourd, but like zoning, damage, and relatively low cooldown as well, so just put it in reliable. Granger is kind of niche. It deals damage from long range and it gives you vision. When using it with the IMU, it's like 5 seconds each, so you have a maximum of like 3 uses of it to capitalize, but like not what you really want. Grok is prioritized, really long stun when you hit a wall, and yeah. Initiation. Guinevere is unnecessary. If you're playing around knockups, then it could be really useful, but it's extremely specific, and by itself you're just dealing damage in a close range, and yeah, there are better ultimates for Valentina. Gushin, if you want extra dashes, I would put it in like niche. I wouldn't mind having an extra dash to like try to outmaneuver people, but if you want to make it prioritize, try to make it reset Valentina skills, like in Hyper Blend. Remember that? Hanabi, I would put it in reliable because AoE immobilize, there's nothing wrong with it actually. I am going to assume the new Hanzo in this tier list, and because of that I would put him in reliable because you get free energy and you transform, so you have all of his skills to try to kill with his kit. All his skills to try to kill with his kit. Yeah, I would put in reliable, to be honest. Harriet is our first useless ultimate of this tier list. You lay down the Zaman Force and it's just a slow, and you don't have reset skills. Hell no, you wouldn't want to use that. Harley, if you're coordinated with your team, it's reliable, but since, you know, most of the time you're just trying to kill for yourself and try to deal damage with the Valentina's kit, I will put it in like niche. Hayabusa is also niche. It's very effective if you're completely alone without any minions. I tried it myself and it's actually good if you fulfill that purpose, but if you're like in team fights or in ganks or something, yeah, you're not gonna have some value with the Hayabusa. Hellcurt, I would put it in reliable because Dark Knight Falls disrupts vision, global ultimate, so yeah. Hilda is niche. It's a single target CC, but like that's basically it. You have the use of it, but like not much value. Glorious Pathway is actually really useful for the team, so I will put it in reliable. Irithel is niche. You have a dash to reposition, and you have another set of dashes with the second skill, and try to deal damage with basic attacks. Maybe that's good, but there are better ultimates. Ixia is unnecessary. You desperately need a lot of attack speed to capitalize with the full barrage, but you only have like 4 seconds to do so, and I don't think it's worth it. Jawhead is reliable. You can try to close in and deal damage with Valentina's second skill, but you are in the front, you are diving, so you gotta be careful. I was close to putting Jawhead in reliable, but like you have a limited time in your car, so it's kind of niche. You have 12 seconds to fight your target. You cannot drive forever. Joy is reliable. You can't go wrong with just maximum damage from this broken ultimate. Julian is kind of unnecessary. It is the raw chain, still low cooldown, but it's just a chain, and like it has some uses, but like it's just a chain, so unnecessary. There are a handful of people that use Kadita's ultimate, so it is reliable because it's really good burst damage, so it is reliable. Kagura, our second useless ultimate. Yin Yang Overturn is when you assume the held umbrella. It is just a big pop, and that is basically it. Why would you use this? Kaja obviously is prioritized, and it's a really good synergy with Valentina's second skill. You ultimate and then you dash to your team, so really good synergy. If you're able to chain kill with Karina, good for you, but it's still niche. Carry is also niche to me because extra basic attacks and some true damage. If you're able to position as a marksman, it's fine, but like again, there's better ultimates. I would prioritize Khalid because you can flicker ultimate as well, and it's just basically a really good skill. Another initiation skill, you can't go wrong with that. As much as it initiates, it's still reliable. I wouldn't prioritize because you have to be in a specific situation where you slam them or hug them into the wall. But since you're in the front line to do so, it's going to be very difficult to survive while doing it. Kimi is kind of niche, I guess, because the rocket deals a lot of damage and you have the Kimi's basic attack. So if you're able to deal some damage with it, then like be my guess. Use it for pushing, but not what you really want. Lancelot could be niche, could be reliable because an extra dash could be good to reposition or, you know, have some immunity as well because it's Phantom Execution. I will put it in like niche for now, but like it could still be reliable. Lapu-Lapu though, it is reliable because you have the whole kit when doing so. So you can do the Bravest Fighter combo and then transform back to Valentina and deal extra damage. A quick ult from Layla. Destruction Rush is reliable because it's long range, a lot of damage, so I don't see why not. Leomord as well, I see reliability on his ultimate because you transform into the horse, I guess. It's considered a transformation skill. So yeah, you have the whole kit, try to deal damage, and yeah, I think it's reliable. Leslie is actually reliable because the ultimate gives vision and you have the potential to kill people who are low in HP, so yeah, I think it's really good. Ling could be reliable, but it's kind of niche because you would prioritize other ultimates than the Ling, but you can still initiate with the knockup it gives and the immunity, and you can try to have some clutch escapes with the Ling. Lolita I would prioritize because big AoE, you can also reposition with Flicker. Still good, it's really good. Lunox assumes the light ultimate instead of dark. If it's dark, it's so useless, but you have survivability with the Lunox, so I think you can rely on this. Lucas 100% prioritized. There's a reason why Valentina counters Lucas, because the ultimate of the Lucas technically does not have a cooldown. The only cooldown you have is that energy he gets in order to use the ultimate. But since Valentina can just copy Lucas's ultimate every 5 seconds or something, it's just too good to pass on. Lo Yi, if you're in a 5-man, it's prioritize. But most of the time it's still reliable. Teleportation is teleportation, quick rotations. Lilia is kind of reliable if you're gonna go for an aggressive type of playstyle with the Valentina, try to dive in with your combo and get out with Black Shoes. I think it's good. If you're able to chain kill with Martis, good for you, but it's still niche. I think I said it before. Masha I think is unnecessary because you just dash in and tackle, and it's just a single damage skill, and I don't think it's worth it. Matilda is reliable. You technically give some vision because you're diving in, and you know, a good knock-up initiation skill I think is good, but like there are better ultimates in my opinion, but it's still good. If you want to go for like an Akai play with the go away bubble, you can, but it's like, yeah, it's niche. Minotaur I would prioritize. It's still an initiation skill, you know, really good ultimate. If you still have rage, I will put it in useless, but a good thing they removed it. Mizithar I would prioritize as well because not enabling dashes is really important, especially with the current meta that has a lot of dashes in order to reposition in fights, so yeah, I would prioritize. Mia to me is niche. You can still capitalize with the Purify it has and the invisibility it gives, so I don't see why not. Surprise kills maybe, but again, it's a specific scenario on when you should do it. Moskov is reliable, global ultimate, it gives vision in a way, and if you hit a target, you can teleport to wherever you hit the target, so I think it can change games. Nana's ultimate to me is reliable, an easy ultimate to use. It's just pure damage and gives a stun if you hit them twice. So yeah. Natalia is niche. You can still combo because second skill of the Valentina and Natalia's first skill is kind of the same. A couple dashes and a couple uses of the hunt. So it's cool, but it's still niche. Nathan is niche. I mean, like, you have some good teleportation to reposition. You can capitalize on basic attacks though, but like, it's good damage, but like, it's a specific purpose. Novaria is super reliable because it's vision and hurt box increase, so yeah. Nolan is kind of niche, very low cooldown, so you can spam it, but like, using it for kills and meh, it's a meh for me. Considering Valentina also has like lifesteal in her kit, and using a huge AoE skill like Odette's, I would prioritize in my opinion. Knockout Strike is kind of niche. If you can get the crowd control, great, but like again, there are better ultimates. Farsa is reliable. Feathered Airstrike, you can't go wrong with a long range burst skill. Phoveus, you can still transform into Phoveus just by pressing it without any target. And after that, you use the entire kit of the Phoveus, but like, it's still niche. It's still niche to me. Popol and Koopa, absolutely the worst ultimate to use. Because you transform into Popol without the Koopa. But you need the ultimate to boost the Koopa, but you don't have the Koopa to use the ultimate onto, so you're just a Popol. Freaking useless. Raphael is kinda niche. It's still an initiation skill. Good animation. I'll put it reliable, I guess. But it's just like, it's a very mid crowd control skill. But it still has uses. Roger is kind of niche. If you can capitalize on the entire kit of the Roger together with Valentina's skills, then great, you can get some kills. I'm Offended, really low cooldown, and you can flicker with it as well. Prioritize. You cannot capitalize triple sweep without the first skill, so I will put it in niche. Selena is also niche. You're gonna need a lot of skill to get that stun within the 12 seconds of you transforming into Selena, so you gotta be careful. Sylvana to me is reliable. You can't go wrong with a single target isolation skill on the Imperial Justice. Stun is kinda niche. You only have like an extra clone. The only way you can capitalize it is the immunity it gives before spawning the other clone. Sleo is unnecessary. Yes, it's very low cooldown and you can capitalize Evil Queller, I think it assumes. But like, it's a dash and a long range skill, but like, that's basically it. Stick out your gash for the Rizzler because Valentina can prioritize the penalty zone, because when Terizla is meta and Valentina's meta, most of the time that she would copy his ultimate, so yeah, prioritize. Cotterant Inferno gives some lifesteal, and together with Valentina's kit, it gives lifesteal as well. Survivability purposes, but like, again, they're better ultimates, I think is niche. Tigreal 100% prioritize and think is self-explanatory. Uranus ultimate, survivability purposes, but it's still niche. Veil is really good, you know, a quick burst AoE, I think it's fine. Valier, the only thing that you can get from it is the Purify. Apart from that, it's not good. Vexana is reliable, an extra EG wouldn't hurt. 1-1, very useless. You have to dive in to get the weaknesses, and like, do you have to use the ultimate just for that purpose? Nah. Xavier is reliable, just like Layla, just a long range burst AoE skill. Like, you know, you can't go wrong with that. No one's gonna judge you. Xborg is kind of niche. You deal less damage, I think. I think that's the rules of the Xborg Valentina. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you use it for kills, you explode, and that's basically it. Yin has its uses. You isolate one person from the fight. Like, that's a very specific purpose. Niche. Shin is reliable. There's nothing wrong with free vision. You transform into the Black Dragon, so you have all of his kit. Reliable. I will put it in reliable, but like, it's still really good that I have to put it in prioritize, because yes, you can't have the extra ticks with the Eve, but like, it's still a really good AoE skill to zone and control. Zask is reliable for more survivability purposes, but you can still make good use on dealing damage with the Dominator's Descent. Zilong is kind of niche. You want movement speed, good, but like, again, better ultimates. Finally, Zushin is niche, because you dash in, dash out, or whatever, deal some damage, but you don't have the second skill to capitalize, so yeah, I wouldn't use it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the tier list on what ultimates you should use on the Valentina. There's a lot of good ones, a lot of bad ones, a lot of meh. I use a good amount of Valentina in my time as well, and hopefully that all the Valentina mains, or should I say all the multi-role mains, can make good use of this tier list. If you have your opinions on this tier list or have some objections on which heroes should be where, make sure to put them in the comment section below. If you want to see more content like this or some more me in general, I have a very inconsistent stream schedule. Yeah, just make sure to subscribe and you'll see me there. That is going to be it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.